For those of you who are watching this video, this presentation is taped in two different segments. The first segment is taped on one day after the second segment. What happened was we forgot to press the record button, and that happens from time to time. So if you see a shift in energy or presentation, this is why. This morning we're going to talk about circulation. Now, we understand circulation to be a very vital and important part of our well-being, about our physical life. And earlier, in an earlier talk, I spoke about how the universe is expanding. And expanding is movement, and it's movement out beyond from where we are right now. Movement is essential in our universe, and it's essential to the species and to the individual. And movement continues throughout our body systems, and we depend upon movement. We depend upon circulation for our blood and our digestive and nervous systems. It's what keeps our body going. It keeps us vital and strong. Now, everything relies upon circulation. And when we don't have enough circulation in our systems, or if we have an excess of foods or anything that is unhealthy for us, we don't move our bodies very much, or we stop using our brains in critical thinking, we suffer the consequences, don't we? We suffer illness and disease, and what also happens is that we get into ruts, or we're unhappy. We have dissatisfaction and anger, and we close up and we live in a very small world. Now that's the bad news. That's the bad news. Essentially what I'm saying is, if there's no circulation, there's no life. It's one of the physical laws we live under, and no one gets away from it. And so it is in spiritual law. Now, spiritual law is God's law. David Owen Ritz, the author of Keys to the Kingdom, the program that we're studying right now, says that spiritual laws are immutable principles of creation that are innate to life itself. They are innate to life itself. Now, Mr. Ritz also says, their operation does not depend upon your agreement, understanding, or even your knowledge. They are the means by which the whole relates to its member parts, the way God interfaces and interacts with the individual. Furthermore, spiritual law is impersonal. It is not a respecter of persons and does not care who uses it or how. Now imagine that. Spiritual law doesn't matter it doesn't care who's using it. It's going to work for you if you use it, no matter who you are. It is not impartial. It does not respond more to one person than another. And it doesn't matter what you believe, what your position is in life, what your religion is, or even your church affiliation. Now, Reverend Ritz also says, a mystic has no greater access to spiritual power than does a confirmed atheist. Think about that. However, the mystic has a deeper understanding that allows him or her to use spiritual power more effectively. And so the law of circulation is a spiritual law. It works whether we understand it or not. It is impersonal, impartial, and only works if applied correctly. The law of circulation governs the flow in your life, the flow of abundance is governed by the law of circulation. So the law of circulation, what we give out at every level, our feeling, our thoughts, our intentions, our attitudes, our material things, comes back to us in kind. Whatever we give out on every level comes back to us in kind. So we're doing this experiment, and I want you to exchange your envelope with someone. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I want you to exchange it again. This is about circulation. And I want you to exchange it one more time. Oh my gosh, 3 times in a row, you don't mean it. We're doing this because we're experimenting with circulation today. And this is a simple exercise, and it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing except to do it with an open heart and an open mind. So we're born into this world, and that is a gift. We come to the world, this is our gift. We are born into this world. And we move through life navigating the systems and rules. And in this phase of our lives, we're looking at the spiritual laws that always governed our entire life. And many of us have been unaware of the spiritual laws up until now. I know I was aware for most of, haha, yeah, that's a joke. I was unaware for most of my life. And I heard about them, talked about them, pretended I understood, but I didn't really apply them. Not seriously anyway. And so now I'm taking ownership because I'm in this position. You put me here. So you're responsible for me living a somewhat conscious life. And this law is now mine to obey. And I believe it's yours to obey as well, if you so choose. Now, when we reflect on what we give to the world, we have to think about our thoughts and our opinions. Oh, and we have some opinions, don't we? We do. We have to think about our attitudes and how much we forgive, and our willingness and our ego and our habits. Oh, that was such a hard one to write. I want you to know my habits, actions, and routines. But I also had to look at my time and my talent. You know, what am I circulating? What am I letting go of? What am I bringing into my life? And all that we give, we get back, don't we? We all kind of know that on some level. All that we give back. I'd like for you to exchange your envelopes with somebody. Someone behind you. Heidi, someone behind you. You have no envelope. Oh, no, honey. If we feel lack in any area of our life, we are not freely giving or have not freely given in some area of our life. For example, we experience the generosity of the world in accordance to the generosity we give. When in our existence, our thoughts, our feelings, nature, interactions, expressions, whatever we're giving, we receive back in kind. We give an open heart. We give with an open heart. We receive back with an open heart. Nature does not like a void. So whenever we're giving and putting out into the world, we're creating a void, and nature's like the tide coming back in, gives back to us. Now this is the downer. I hate to say this is the downer. When we experience doubts, fears, resentments, judgments, condemnation, we receive that back too. Yeah. And I can personally attest to this, and I imagine that we could do a testimony just of that, and there would be, everyone in the room would participate. But that's how it works. We're putting out the positive, we're putting out the good, we're getting the good back. We're putting out the fear, the doubts, the judgment, the negativity. It shows back up in our lives. And we are a mix of both of this. Don't think that anyone in this room is living with all absolute positivity and joy. Everyone in this room is experiencing some mixture of both. Oh. I want you to exchange the envelopes one more time. This is how circulation works. We give and then we receive in accordance to what we give. Wherever there is doubt, there is lack. Wherever there is abundance, there is spiritual law, and the law of circulation is at work. Wherever the law of circulation exists, there is truth. We give, we love, we give with an open heart, we receive abundance. We give with an open mind, we receive abundance. We let go of the things that we're no longer using. That is filled up with abundance because we're having those abundant thoughts, aren't we? Now, in Keys to the Kingdom this week, no, so we don't get that in there. In Keys to the Kingdom this week, we're discussing 3 items, and I'm going to just mention them briefly because I really want to get over to the barbecue. We're going to be discussing 3 items in this, and these are 3 items that might help you. The first is we're going to discuss uncluttering our lives. And we're going through our closets and boxes and drawers and cabinets, and we're getting rid of stuff. We're getting rid of stuff we haven't used, don't need, letting go of it. Because we know our good is coming back. We know our good is coming back. We're going to discuss opening up our finances, making money our friend. Now, we hear that a lot in conversation, but do any of us ever have like just a tinge bit of anxiety when someone talks about money or salaries or future and investments? I know I do. I am not the most savvy person. I am not the most savvy person in my financial realm. I have friends like Michelle who I can go to and say, Michelle, how do I invest this? And she, in her wisdom, because this is what she does for a living, she can give me advice. So I seek out the people who are full of wisdom in the areas that I don't have. And then we're going to be charting our future. We're going to be looking at what is our future. What's our future relationship with abundance? What's our future relationship with prosperity? How are we going to walk into the future giving and receiving fully and freely? This is what we're going to be discussing. Now, you have an envelope. Most of us have envelopes. I want you to tell you, we made 80 envelopes because, well, certainly there wouldn't be 80 people. Well, there's more than 80 people. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you. And so we don't have enough envelopes. Not everybody did get an envelope. But those people, they're special, aren't they, Heidi? The people who gave their envelopes away. Anyway, at the end, there's a table back there with gifts that people from Keys to the Kingdom, they went through some of their drawers and their cabinets and closets, and they brought gifts to share, and each one has a number on it. And when afterwards, you're going to learn what your number is, and you're going to get that corresponding gift. And sometimes it's going to be a little bit of cash, and sometimes it's going to be a tangible item. That's what's going to happen after you leave, after the service is over, and then you're going to open up your envelopes. And I want to thank you for participating in the great circulation experiment. It was an honor to share this with you. I did want to share this one story with you about my grandma. My grandma grew up in Depression time, and so everything was very sparse. Actually, she was pre-Depression. So even before Depression time, she was standing in food lines. They were very poor. And so everything had value to my grandma. And I grew up with the consciousness that everything has value. And everything I looked at, she saw value in it. She saw the possibility in it. And so I grew up with that. Now, that's all well and good until you start making house for yourself. And before you know it, you're a hoarder. Truly, there's just so much stuff. And not only that, pieces of mail come into my hands, and I'm going, oh, this is good information. I'll put it right here. And then someone hands me a piece of information, I put it right here. And these piles start getting higher and higher, and I have no idea what's in them. Don't. My grandma kept every greeting card she ever received. I loved it. I would spend hours going through her greeting cards. But you know what I learned? You collect every greeting card you ever receive, every letter. In that, I got to read my family history. However, as I have moved from state to state, crossed the ocean a few times, I have learned that's not really the most healthy way to live. And it has been my opportunity to let go. When Grandma had a habit every Friday of going to the thrift store, and she would fill grocery bags full of clothes, and they were only $0.25 per bag on Fridays. And she would bring them home, and she would show her delights to everyone, and she would pass them out. And at first we started taking whatever she gave us, and then our houses got like that, so we stopped. And she said, that's okay. But after she made her transition, her attic was full of these bags of clothing because she still saw possibility in them. I am blessed that I am married to someone who keeps me organized, who has no room for excess stuff. There are not piles in my home. If there are, they're my piles. And every once in a while, I get a talking to about my piles. And I deserve the talking to. I need the talking to. I need assistance with that. So I share that with you because that's not the example of circulation we're looking for. We're looking for letting go, releasing, knowing that it's going on to its higher good, to a place where it can be used and be loved and adored. Just like the items that are in the back. They were once a part of our lives, and now they're moving on. And should you not like the item you want or want the item you want, we have a thrift boutique who will gladly receive this. And they will resell it to someone who will appreciate it. And that's the beauty of circulation. That's what keeps us healthy. So will you join me as we pray? Thank you, loving God. Thank you for the circulation in our bodies and our minds and our thoughts. Thank you that we can live healthy lives because of the circulation. Thank you for the strength and the courage and the ability to let go of everything that no longer serves us. We give thanks and praise for your presence in our life and claim this right here, right now. Amen.